Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Lightup Knowledge and very warm welcome to today's video. I hope you all are doing great. In today's video we will cover Malapropism, which is a literary form. There is a separate playlist of literary forms and devices on my channel, the link of which will be available right in the description box. Now without any further ado or delay, let's jump right into the video. Origin of the term malapropism. The term malapropism itself actually comes from a character called as Mrs. Malaprop, as shown in the picture, from The Rivals, a 1775 five-act comedy which was written by Richard Brinsley Sheridan. Mrs. Malaprop did in fact use words incorrectly as a funny quirk of her character, which the writer has portrayed her to be. So her name became the default term for misusing word. So that was about the origin of the term malapropism. So it is from the character of Mrs. Malaprop from Richard Brinsley Sheridan's comedy The Rivals that we get this term from. Meaning of the term malapropism. Malapropism is that type of solecism. Now what is solecism? Solecism is the conspicuous and unintended violation of standard diction or grammar. Means you use it by mistake, you don't do it intentionally, which mistakenly uses a word in place of another that it resembles. So you replace a word, you use a word by mistake with a similar sounding word, and what is the purpose? It brings a comic effect in a piece of writing or in spoken language that way. So what is malapropism? Malapropism occurs when a word is substituted, and the word is substituted with the word with which it resembles, means with a similar sounding word, and basically it brings a very inappropriate usage. So this inappropriate usage causes what? It causes humor, it causes laughter. So basically the effect is to give a humorous effect to a piece of writing. So malapropism is a usage of a word by mistake with a similar sounding one to create a humorous effect. Instances of malapropism used by Mrs. Malaprop, the famous character. The first one is as headstrong as an allegory on the banks of the Nile. So here the word allegory is used by mistake, and actually she wanted to use the word alligator, but instead she had used the word allegory. The next example is he is the very pineapple of politeness. Does it sound funny? Yes, it does, right? So instead of pinnacle, the writer has used pineapple. So the next and the third example is I'm sure I have done everything in my power since I exploded the affair. How could one explode the affair? So the word is exposed instead of exploded. So that was all about the malapropism of Mrs. Malaprop. In everyday life, similar sounding words often cause confusions and are interchanged. So people tend to substitute an unfamiliar word with a similar sounding familiar one. So here are the examples from language. Okay, the ones that we tend to use every day, we mispronounce every day. The first one is the cows look emancipated. Now emancipated means free from any legal or political order, right? How can cows be free from any political order, right? The correct word is emaciated, which means weak due to lack of food or whatever. The next example is he is a wolf in cheap clothing. So instead of sheep you use cheap in cheap clothing, but the actually correct one is sheep's clothing. The next one is Good punctuation means never to be late. Good punctuation, how you will use good punctuation to be late? No, the correct one is good punctuality. Okay, the one who is punctual is a person who is on time. The fourth one is I have extra century perception. Century is a group of 100 years, right? How can a person have a perception of an extra century? No, but the person actually tries to say is extra sensory. So he use it by mistake and speaks extra century instead of extra sensory. The fifth one is the funniest one, I bet. The doctor's perception was lost. How can a doctor's perception be lost? So you use perception, but you actually want to say or actually want to mean prescription of a doctor. The medicine or whatever that is being prescribed by a doctor is known as a prescription and not perception, of course. But malapropism by no means was new in 1775. It was already used in some earlier work. For example, the present before you is one from Much Ado About Nothing. Constable Dogberry uses multiple malapropism and is known for them that Dogberryism has become another name for malapropism. And the one that he uses is, "A what, sir? Indeed have comprehended too auspicious person." So in this instance, in this example, there are two malapropism used, right? So he should have said apprehended and not comprehended. And the next example is he should have said suspicious instead of saying auspicious. So this is a beautiful example from the late history in the year 1589 and is a beautiful example indeed. This section brings us to an end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you found it useful. If you did, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and do not forget to press that bell icon so that you can get regular updates of the videos that I upload. All the important links will be linked down in the description box below. Until then, keep learning and keep growing.